Beneath the ordinary world lies a veil, and behind it, the voices of the lost still whisper.
We are your guides into the shadows, where true crime meets the paranormal.
From chilling crimes to haunted histories, we uncover the stories that refuse to rest.
This is Veil of Echoes. "3 o'clock in the morning. The halls of the Château de Brissac should be empty. But they're not. For centuries, people have claimed that if you wander these halls, after everyone else has gone home, you won't be walking alone.
At first, you don't see her. You feel her. The air suddenly turns cold. The silence becomes too quiet. Then, you hear something just beyond the darkness. Not footsteps, a dress moving across ancient stone.
You tell yourself not to look, because every story, every guide, every person who has claimed to see her says the same thing. If you see the woman in green, she's already been watching you. Slowly, you turn. She's standing there, motionless. Her emerald gown hangs to the floor. Her hands rest quietly in front of her. She almost looks beautiful until she raises her head. Where her eyes should be, there are only empty black holes. And where her nose once was, there is nothing, only darkness.
No one knows why she still walks these halls. Some believe she's searching for the man she loved. Others believe she's trapped forever, reliving the night she died. But everyone agrees on one thing. If you hear her, don't follow the sound.
Because for more than 500 years, she's been waiting for someone to notice her.
This is episode 72, The Green Lady of Château de Brissac.
The woman who never left. Welcome back to Veil of Echoes, the cinematic podcast where we explore true crime cases, paranormal encounters, mysteries, and forgotten stories that continue to echo through time.
We're your hosts. I'm Zach.
And I'm Bria. If you've been with us since episode 1, welcome back. And if you're here for the very first time, welcome. We're truly glad you found us, whether you're listening on your morning commute, working a late shift, driving down a quiet back road, or maybe listening with the lights off. Thank you for choosing to spend part of your day with us. And before we step into tonight's story, we've got a few quick updates. So this week, Veil of Echoes has now officially reached listeners in 81 countries around the world. I know last week we were, 79?
79.
So that's exciting.
2 more to the list.
So thank you, everyone who has been listening to us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Sorry, that's our dog, Goliath, walking around. But yeah, it's. I feel grateful. It's awesome. So, thank you for sticking with us. So we also wanted to give everyone a quick update on our listener community name. I know we were gonna try to plan one to name you guys from last month, but we just feel like we want as much of you as possible to help choose your name. We did get some votes in, but with the amount of listeners we have, we just feel like it would be more meaningful for as many of you to vote.
Some more votes. More votes.
So we can start putting polls up on our socials, so just keep a watch out on our Instagram especially. We'll start putting polls up, and if you could just put your vote in. I know we have Veil Walkers is a really popular one amongst listeners. Veil Voyagers have been mentioned, Echo Keepers, or if you guys have other suggestions. We would love to have a name. This is our goal. We'd love to have a name picked out for you guys by September, because that's our 1 year anniversary when we start season 2, and we have a lot of exciting things coming up. So let's plan that.
Yes, and if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be this far, so we'd like your help.
Yes, so yeah, just keep an eye on our social media pages, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We'll be posting updates, behind the scenes content, more stuff. So yeah,
just keep an eye out for all the good stuff. And you don't forget, the monthly giveaways are still going on, and all you have to do is leave a rating or review, give it a screenshot, and either send it to us directly or email us at veilofechospodcast@gmail.com.
We've already sent a few packages out, and I know the listeners who did receive them said they really love them, so that makes me happy. I hope you guys like them, but we put a lot of thought into them, so we just thought it would be cool just to do something for you guys to, appreciate you being here with us. So yeah, if you could leave us, if you haven't already, leave us a rating, written review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, screenshot it, send it to our, message us, our socials, our email.
Yes.
At veilofechospodcast@gmail.com. There's some cool crystals in there, candles. I think we put in the last one some sage even.
Yep.
A tarot card that's specifically made for you guys. But yeah, I think it's cool.
Just little bits and pieces to make you feel at home.
Yeah, like you're part of the Veil of Echoes universe, and that's our goal. So, but yeah, thank you again so much for being here with us. And one more update before we get into our story for tonight. As always, our Echoes from the Veil segment is now open for submissions. So if you've experienced something paranormal, had a true crime encounter, a near-death experience, or simply lived through something you've never been able to explain, we'd love to hear your story. Some of our favorite moments on this podcast have come directly from you guys, so we'd love to continue sharing those experiences with the rest of the Veil community. We've had quite a few submissions already, and we're actually going to be kicking this segment off hopefully the end of this month, early first part of August. So you guys can it's up to you guys. We'll give you the option. If you want to be on the show with us, we can do like a Riverside link, and then it's kind of like Zoom. And then we'll post that, because we are going to start posting more video content, especially for season 2. Or if you want to remain anonymous, that's totally cool too. We could read your story off on the podcast, or
yeah. We can either read it, you can read it, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just get with us and
yes,
we'll figure things out.
Yes, we have, like I said, we've had quite a few more interesting stories so far, so we're excited to hear more. And then, like I said, we'll release this segment starting in probably August, so.
Yes, and we are most definitely excited for you to hear some of these stories as well.
Yes, especially for our first guest, so.
Stay tuned.
I think you'll love his stories, so. But yeah, you can send your stories to us at veilofechospodcast@gmail.com, or message us on any of our social media pages, or just let us know that you'd love to be on the podcast and share your story.
We're waiting.
We're traveling thousands of miles to the Loire Valley of France, to a castle that stood for nearly 1,000 years, a place where kings once walked, where wars left their scars, and where one woman is said to have never left. So if you're ready, take one last look behind you, because once the doors of Château de Brissac close, you may not be walking its halls alone. Nestled among the vineyards of France's beautiful Loire Valley stands Château de Brissac. For nearly 1,000 years, its towering stone walls have overlooked the countryside, watching as generations came and went. Standing 7 stories tall, it's often called the tallest castle in France. Inside, more than 200 rooms stretch through grand hallways, spiraled staircases, private chambers, and elegant ballrooms. Every doorway seems to lead somewhere, older than the last. During the day, sunlight pours through massive windows, illuminating priceless paintings, ornate chandeliers, and ceilings covered in centuries-old artwork. Visitors wander the halls, admiring the architecture, taking photographs, and imagining what life must have been like hundreds of years ago. It's breathtaking, almost peaceful.
But castles change after dark. The laughter fades. The tour groups leave. The enormous wooden doors close. And suddenly, every hallway feels a little longer. Every shadow a little darker. Stone has a way of holding on to sound. Every footstep echoes. Every whisper travels. Even your own breathing begins to sound unfamiliar. You tell yourself it's just an old building, just an old castle, until you hear footsteps that don't belong to you.
For generations, visitors, employees, and even members of the family who still call this castle home have shared remarkably similar stories. Yeah, I think the family, they have lived there for 500 years. Like, someone in the family.
It's like generation.
Yeah, and it's a really pretty castle, actually. I'd love to see it in person.
Because, I mean, your dad's what, the 3rd generation from the farm? Or the 4th?
Well, Annie, then my grandpa.
So your dad's
Yeah.
the 3rd?
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
So,
look how
500 years.
pretty it is.
They kept it looking really good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it's been owned continuously by the
Same.
Brissac family since May 26, 1502.
Huh. Jeez.
The 7-story giant of the Loire Valley is currently managed and occupied by Charles Andre de Cossé. I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. The 14th Duke of Brissac, who inherited the estate from his father in 2021.
Huh.
So, 1502.
Man. That is a long time.
Yes.
Especially for one family, it's usually not heard of.
Well, I mean, if you think about
By
like
that
the
time,
royal family too, I mean, isn't that all?
Yeah, well, I guess. But most of it's like either changed by marriage or sold off or.
Yeah. I just want to go over to Europe. It's beautiful
Yes.
over there.
I want to go to the.
It's like a
let's travel
fairy
the
tale.
world.
Yeah.
Though the world tour. Hi, Siri.
A woman walking the halls, soft crying, echoing from somewhere above, a figure standing silently inside a tower room, watching, waiting. She doesn't appear every night. She doesn't speak. She doesn't chase people through the castle. In fact, many who've claimed to see her say she simply stands there, as though she's waiting for someone or perhaps for something.
The people who know this castle best have a name for her. La Dame Verte, the Green Lady. Some believe she's nothing more than a legend, a story that's been passed from one generation to the next. Others believe she's exactly what countless people have claimed to see. A woman who has spent more than 5 centuries wandering these halls, unable or unwilling to leave. But before she became the Green Lady, she was someone else. She had another name, another life. And one spring night, in the year 1477, everything changed.
Long before people whispered about ghosts, before visitors nervously glanced over their shoulders, and before the legend of the Green Lady was ever born, there was simply a castle. The story of Château de Brissac begins nearly 1,000 years ago. The original fortress was built during the 11th century by Folko the Black, the Count of Anjou. It wasn't built to be beautiful. It was built to survive. Its towering stone walls were meant to withstand sieges, protect the surrounding countryside, and remind anyone approaching who held the power. But over the centuries, those walls witnessed far more than battles. Kings, queens, noble families, celebrations, betrayals, and war all passed through its gates. With every generation, the castle changed. New rooms were added, old ones were torn away. Stone by stone, it slowly transformed into the magnificent chateau that still stands today.
Like much of France, the castle wasn't spared from violence. During the French Wars of Religion, it suffered extensive damage. Centuries later, during the French Revolution, it was plundered once again. Its halls were stripped, its rooms left in ruin. For years, the castle sat abandoned, empty, silent. Many believed its story had finally come to an end. But Château de Brissac refused to disappear. In the mid-1800s, the castle was painstakingly restored, returning much of its former grandeur. Today, it's still owned by the Brissac family. An incredible fact, considering nearly a millennia has passed since the story first began. Visitors from around the world now walk the same halls, climb the same staircases, and stand beneath the same towering ceilings as generations before them. Most leave remembering the beauty. Others leave remembering something else.
Because despite everything this castle has survived, wars, revolutions, and the passing of nearly 1,000 years, that's not what people talk about when they leave. They talk about her, the woman in green. Long before people whispered about the Green Lady, before frightened visitors claimed to see a woman wandering these halls, before her name became a legend, she had another name, Charlotte. She wasn't born to an ordinary family. Charlotte de Brézé was the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII and his longtime mistress, Agnes Sorel. Although she was never destined to inherit the French throne, she still grew up surrounded by wealth, privilege, and the expectations that came with being part of the royal court. In the 15th century, marriage was rarely about love, especially for noble families. Marriages created alliances, strengthened political influence, and protected family legacies. And in 1462, Charlotte's future was decided for her, to a young nobleman named Jacques de Brézé.
From everything historians have been able to piece together, it wasn't a marriage built on affection. The two couldn't have been more different. Jacques loved hunting, long days on horseback, the outdoors, thrill of the chase. Charlotte preferred something quieter, music, conversation, elegant gatherings, the beauty of castle life. Although they lived under the same roof, many believed they were living very different lives.
Like, I understand, like, some people or cultures or whatever have what arranged marriage is, you know? So, like, if you
that's
don't...
the strangest part.
If it is... Well, because, I mean, they obviously didn't love each other.
Yeah, because, like, what the
You know, but I don't know. Imagine those halls, more than 500 years ago. Candles flickering against stone walls, servants quietly moving through the corridors, and the scent of burning wood drifting from enormous fireplaces. Outside, horses crossing the courtyard. Inside, a young woman looking out the castle windows, wondering if this was all her life would ever be. Then someone noticed her, not as the king's daughter, not as Jacques' wife, not as a political alliance, but simply as Charlotte.
His name was Pierre de Laverne. Accounts differ on exactly who Pierre was. Some describe him as Jacques' huntsman. Others simply call him a nobleman. But nearly every version of the story agrees that somewhere within the walls of the Château de Brissac, the two began a secret relationship. For how long? No one knows. Weeks, months, perhaps even years. Every conversation, every stolen glance, every quiet meeting had to remain hidden, because if they were discovered, the consequences would be unimaginable.
Yet despite the danger, they kept meeting, believing perhaps that no one would ever know. But old castles have many windows, many hallways, and many servants, and secrets have a way of finding their way into the wrong ears. On the evening of May 31st, 1477, Jacques returned home from a hunting trip. He had no idea that before the night was over, his name and Charlotte's would become part of one of France's oldest ghost stories. As darkness settled over the Loire Valley, Jacques returned home after spending the day hunting. To anyone watching, it looked like an ordinary evening. Candles glowed through the castle windows, servants prepared the evening meal, the fireplaces crackled, filling the halls with warmth. But no one could have imagined that before sunrise, everything would change. That evening, Jacques and Charlotte shared dinner. Whether they spoke or sat in silence, history doesn't tell us. Only that after the meal they retired to separate chambers. Like many noble couples of the time, sharing a marriage didn't always mean sharing a bedroom.
The castle slowly drifted to sleep. One by one, candles were extinguished. Servants disappeared into their quarters. The corridors fell silent, till a servant stood outside Jacques' chamber. His voice, barely more than a whisper. "My lord, I believe your wife is with another man."
No one knows what crossed Jacques' mind. Shock, heartbreak, humiliation, rage, and perhaps all of them. But what we do know is that he reached for his sword. One step, then another, higher into the tower. The only sounds were the rain and the echo of his footsteps. Inside, Jacques discovered Charlotte and Pierre. Most accounts describe Pierre as Jacques' huntsman, while others simply identify him as a member of the household. Whatever his exact role, history agrees on one thing. He and Charlotte had been discovered. What happened next has been told for more than 500 years. Some accounts claim that Jacques attacked them with his sword. Others say Pierre was stabbed while Charlotte was strangled. The details differ, but the ending never does. Before dawn, both Charlotte and Pierre were dead.
Morning came. The castle continued, as castles always had. Servants cleaned, meals were prepared. The halls were busy once again. Something had changed. Not in the stone walls, not in the towering halls. Something felt different.
That night, after everyone had gone to bed, a servant heard someone crying. Not loud, not screaming, just soft. Heartbroken sobs echoing somewhere above the chapel. At first, they searched every room. They found nothing. The next night, the crying returned, and then again the night after that, and soon the sobs were joined by footsteps, walking empty hallways, climbing staircases, and stopping just outside bedroom doors. Servants began refusing to walk certain corridors alone. Some claim they heard someone whispering their names. Others reported doors opening after they had been locked. Candles they had burned out hours earlier were found flickering before sunrise. The castle was no longer quiet. It was listening.
Then, someone finally saw her, standing silently inside the tower room above the chapel, the very place where Charlotte had taken her last breath. She wore a long emerald green dress. Her hands rested calmly in front of her. She didn't move. She didn't speak. She simply watched. Then slowly, she lifted her face. Where her eyes should have been were only dark, empty hollows. Where her nose once was, there was nothing, only shadow.
Charlotte had become something else. She would forever be known as La Dame Verte, the Green Lady. So I wonder, why her eyes, it makes you think, did he gouge her eyes out? Or,
I don't know, that's a good one.
Or, her nose, why is it missing like that? It's like a skeleton, like a skull?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. But that'd be creepy. More than 500 years have passed since Charlotte's death. Kings have come and gone, wars have begun and ended, and entire generations have lived and disappeared. Yet according to countless stories, one resident never left. Today, the Château de Brissac is still home to the Brézé family. The castle welcomes visitors from all over the world, and people come to admire its history, its architecture, its incredible beauty, and some even spend the night. But not everyone leaves with the same story. For generations, visitors, employees, and tour guides, and even members of the family have claimed they've experienced something they couldn't explain. Some describe hearing footsteps echoing through empty corridors long after the castle has closed. Others report hearing the faint sound of a woman crying somewhere above the chapel. And some visitors have even claimed they caught sight of a green dress disappearing around a corner, only to discover no one was there.
Then, there are those who claim they've actually seen her. Almost always, the description is the same. A woman wearing a flowing green dress, standing perfectly still, watching silently, before disappearing without making a sound.
But it's her face people never forget. Witnesses describe dark, empty hollows where her eyes should be, an empty space where her nose once was. And some visitors have turned around and walked away without finishing the tour. Others have refused to spend another night inside the castle. Her favorite place, according to legend, is the tower room, above the chapel, the very room where Charlotte and Pierre were killed. Some say if you stand there long enough, you begin to feel like someone is standing behind you.
You tell yourself not to turn around, because if the stories are true, she isn't following you. She's waiting for you to notice her.
Perhaps that's why her story has survived for more than 5 centuries. Not because anyone can prove she's there, but because generation after generation, people who've never met continue describing the same woman, the same dress, and the same silent figure, the same empty face. Some believe she's trapped, forever reliving the final night of her life. Others believe she stays because the castle is the last place she ever knew. And then there are those who believe she's still searching for something that was taken from her more than 500 years ago.
Whatever the truth may be, one thing has never changed. When the sun sets over the Château de Brissac and the last footsteps fade into silence, there are still people who glance one last time over their shoulder before leaving, just in case the woman in green is watching them leave.
Was it an old building settling? The wind moving through ancient stone corridors? A mind filling in the blanks inside a place already surrounded by legend? Or did something look back? No photograph has ever proven the Green Lady exists. No scientific study has explained the countless stories shared across generations. And yet, for more than 500 years, people who have never met have described the same woman.
Maybe she's only a legend, a story, passed from one generation to the next. Or maybe some places hold on to the people who once called them home.
Perhaps that's why the story has never disappeared, because every castle holds memories. Every hallway has witnessed laughter, heartbreak, celebration, and loss. And most of those memories fade with time. But every once in a while, one refuses to let go. The last tour of Château de Brissac ends every evening. The lights are turned off, the doors are locked, and the halls grow quiet. But according to the legend, someone never leaves. And before we close today's episode, we want to leave you with one final thought. Ghost stories have existed for thousands of years. Some disappear as generations pass, and others continue to grow. The story of the Green Lady has survived for more than 5 centuries. Not because anyone can prove it's true, but because people continue to tell it, continue to experience it, and continue to leave, wondering what they saw, or perhaps what saw them.
Whether you believe the Green Lady is simply one of France's oldest legends, or whether you think Charlotte still walks the ancient halls, is something only you can decide.
I mean, I want to believe she walks the halls.
Yeah, I'd like to go see that castle.
Creepy.
That'd be a wicked experience.
But again, I mean, it's just stories, so it's, a good ghost story. Yeah.
It's always a good ghost story.
Just picturing, like, her dress going across the corner is creepy.
Oh, yeah, you just turn around and see green disappear.
Nope,
like,
nope,
right.
nope, I'm out. I'm leaving.
Sorry, I have to go now.
Yeah. But we also want to hear from you guys, too, on your thoughts. Would you spend the night inside the Château de Brissac, or would one glimpse of the woman in green be enough to send you running? Let us know over on our social media pages. We'll be reading your responses throughout the week, and we'd love to know what you believe.
Yes, especially if you've actually stayed there. Let us know that, too.
Yes.
I'd like to know that experience.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. Yeah, we have, like, our listeners in France, we have quite a few over there, so if you guys have heard of this story, that would be awesome to share.
Yes,
your experience.
please.
Or if you have
please.
pictures, please. Perhaps the Green Lady is only a story. Or perhaps on quiet nights, when the castle has gone still, and the last visitor has gone home, Charlotte is still waiting for someone to notice her. If you enjoyed today's episode, the best way to help Veil of Echoes continue to grow is by sharing it with someone who loves true crime and the paranormal, and stories that continue to echo through time. If you're enjoying the show, please be sure to follow us, leave us a rating or review, and become part of our growing community. Every listen, every review, and every share helps us continue telling these stories that deserve to be remembered.
This Friday, we're diving into one of the world's most chilling paranormal mysteries. For decades, people from around the world who've never met have described the exact same figure. A tall man, dressed in black, standing silently at the foot of their bed, watching them. They call him the Hat Man. Join us this Friday as we explore one of the most terrifying shared experiences in the paranormal world.
And next Monday, we're traveling to Australia to tell the story of one of the country's most infamous killers, a woman whose violent temper was no secret. Friends feared her, the people closest to her knew what she was capable of. But no one could have imagined how her story would end. One of the most shocking crimes in Australian history. Next Monday, we're telling the story of Catherine Knight. Until next time, keep your ears open.
And the veil closed.